Welcome everybody to another Ghost Hack live stream. Today we're going to be doing something fun. We're going to be using the Ghost Hack Black Friday Master Bundle that is now available on the Ghost Hack website, and we're going to be making some music with it here in FL Studio. We're going to be making some hybrid trap. Going to go for something trap, hybrid, throw some basses in there. I'm just going to get creative and do some fun stuff with this pack because there's a ton of stuff in here that I think is very, very useful. And if you want to go download the pack, now is the perfect time because there are still spots available, because the first 100 people who sign up to get this pack get a bunch of bonuses along with this pack. And let me tell you right now, this thing is huge already, even without the bonuses. Like, just looking at everything, I can show you right here. I have everything in the Black Friday bundle right here. We have the General District, which has all kinds of loops, just a ton of You can see all the samples that are in this. Like, this is the normal size pack for each of these. We have all kinds of loops. We have MIDI files. There's one-shots in here, and I'm not going to go through all of them because there's so many of them. But you can already see how much you get with this pack. And these are all really high quality. All the ones that I've looked through. I'm really glad that this pack got released because a lot of people are going to like it. We got live instruments, Cajun congas, hi-hats, actual instruments as well, acoustic guitars, we have brass, piano, sitar, just a bunch of cool stuff going on here. There's also the melody and effects district that we have. There's 100 MIDI files for arps and melodies and chords, melodic loops, like tons of them, like all kinds of stuff in here, and a ton of one-shots as well. And this is where we have things like impacts, drones, percussions. It's just chock full of stuff, and even if you don't use them, there's so much like creativity put into this pack that even just scrolling through them and looking around, you get so much inspiration to make all kinds of music. To be honest, this can be used for tons of different kinds of EDM, and today I'm going to use it for hybrid trap purposes. So alright, let's make sure that we're all set up, going live here, that everyone has joined. Alright, everything looks like it's going good. I think I'm going to just get right into it then. So I have a little template right here. I'm just going to say this right off. I have a little template which has a kick and a snare, and I have a sidechain shape set up. So I have this little sidechain shape that I created. It's muted right now, but all I had to do this was to go into my little sidechain bus that I have. I can just, anything I want to be sidechained, I can just route into this sidechain bus, and in it I have a fruity balance, which automatically comes with FL Studio. This is just this cheesy little plugin that's just a volume, and I just right click and create an automation clip and created this shape. And once I created that shape, all you have to do is now in your actual sequencer is just put down a little blip. If you just put a little blip down where the kick is getting triggered, and then I also have a little blip down where the snare is getting triggered. However, since we're making trap, I am not going to actually sidechain with the snare. If I was making dubstep like I normally would, then I would. However, I do not want it this round, so we're not going to sidechain every time the snare hits. So now these are just empty channels, so I'm going to start out by getting some drums ready. So let's find a good place to get kick drums. Let's see, this is the General District. Let's see, one-shots. Let's look in some one-shots. And there we are, some kicks. Now there's a lot of kicks to look through here, so let me see if I can find something that I like. That one's not bad. Honestly, the majority of these could work. So I think the one I liked was right there. I'll take 30. So now the kick is getting triggered. We have the kick in 30, and then for the snare, let's find a good snare. So let's go into kicks, or out of kicks, and let's go into snares and see what they got. Again, there's a ton of snares here, so we have a bunch of options to look through. These seem to be a lot of kind of dubstep, neuro-y kind of drum and bass stuff up here. But the beautiful thing about trap is the snare does not have to be the same every time. You can use all different kinds of snares for trap. There's one I heard just a second ago. I want to use this one, but I'm going to pair it with other samples as well, because we're not going to use just this snare for trap music. First off, let's go in here. I think I can pitch it up. That would be a little more fitting for trap music. Alright, the reason the kick sounds very, very loud right now is we got some effects on this kick channel that I have it routed in. This is how it works with my template. It's nothing too crazy though. A little EQ doing just about nothing, and then a wave shaper, which is just driving it. Right now, let's make the kick mono. And the lows down here are pretty crazy. So in this situation, we don't want them too hard. I like that. I like that the kick isn't super clean. Like it's a little bit messy and a little bit crunchy. And that's gonna make that's gonna give a little more vibe to our track. And now for the snare. The snare, we're gonna do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to lower the fundamental here. Lower that. And crank it. All right, I'm already feeling this. I think this is going to be really good. And now let's just get some claps. I want to layer it with a clap. These are awesome. That's a nice one. I'll take that one and just throw it in on the layer. Route that into 3. Let's label this clap. Actually, what if I route it with the snare? Would that work? No. All right, and I'll just shorten it, normalize it. And then finally, just real quick, before I go into anything else, I'm going to add a little percussion layer to the snare. And this is really, really fun to do. I think what I can do is go out of the general district and go into the live instruments. Now I can select some kind of percussion. Let's see what kind of percussions we got. Ooh, that's kind of funny. I want to layer that. And I'll take one more in the lower mid-range. I'll take that one. Alright, and I'm just going to route these into the same channel. This is going to be in 4. And we're going to play these at the same time. Now you can see we have our low frequency here and our ringing high frequencies. So let's bring the low frequency down a bit. What I'm actually going to add is I'm going to use this free plugin from Xfer, that is Dimension Expander. You can find this in Serum and Serum Effects as well. I'm just going to use this one, bring the size down. Just widen it a little bit, as well as add a tiny bit of reverb. Just to layer in there. And while I'm here, I'll shorten this kick. Sounds good to me. Alright, we got a good kick and a snare going here. Now let me throw in an 808, and then we can start making the actual song. So I'm going to just do this in instruments, and let's see if we can find an 808 in here. Let's see. If not, there are actually some 808 presets so for Serum that I could use those as well. So one shots, let's see. I don't know if there's any 808s in this one. Let's see, this is the general district. Let's see. I think it would actually be really cool if we, when I mentioned that, I like that idea. I like trying to use one of the 808s inside of Serum in these presets. So let's go EDM presets, and let's see, drum 808. Okay, here's an 808. I have my keyboard here. For a preset, that is actually pretty nice. I rather enjoy this. I rather enjoy this one, and it's automatically tuned. Like if I were to get a sample, it might be like an F or something like that, and if I played middle C, it would just be playing F. But in this case, it actually is playing the note that I want. So let's make this track. Let's make this track an F. F is a nice key. So right here, I just want to call this. There's going to be some percussions, and then in 5 is going to go our 808. And what we're going to do first, I honestly don't think there's much that needs to be done. Maybe lower that a little bit. And how about a soft clipper? This is really nice to add. It adds a little bit of extra saturation on top of the 808 you already have. So let's increase the attack. So we have room for our kick, and now we have our 808 all set up. So now that we have this going on, I already have my BPM at 140, so now we can look at the actual sounds and start making some kind of hybrid trap loop, something kind of interesting. I want to do something creative with this. So let's go into loops, and let's see. We have a lot of different stuff we could choose here. We have a lot of percussion loops. We have house bass loops. Here's some neuro bass loops, which could actually be very interesting. These are in 172 though, so I'm going to keep looking around. We have synth perc loops, which sound like this. Just a lot of abstract stuff. But let's look for something a little more normal in this case. Live instruments, melody, and effects districts. This is the good stuff. This is what we want. So we're in 140. Let's just go ahead and see what they have in 140 before we mess around with anything else. That's really cool. No, it's more of a, like, it says techno lead, but that sounds really cool. We could work with that. Let's see if that works with our drums, and we may be able to use that. I hear a lot of potential in that. I actually do hear a lot of potential. So we're just going to use that as a basis. This is where my inspiration came from, is from this loop. So we're just going to work with this. This is going to be routed into, let's start after the sub here. Let's start with 31. So I'm just going to route this into 31. I'll name it a little later, but right now we're just going to run it through the sidechain. And now you can hear what the sidechain does. If I mute the actual kick and snare, you can hear that it ducks down when the kick hits. That's exactly what we want. So let's create a better kick and snare pattern, because this is not a good pattern for trap. Set the snap to line so we have a little larger grid. All right. Then I want to do a double hit right here. And a second snare. All right, the kick is very heavy. We have a very strong kick here. I think it could be too heavy in this region for trap. But we're also going to pair it with the 808. So this is in G minor, so we can actually do our song in G minor. That could be pretty cool. So let's create a new pattern, pattern 3, and now we can lay down our 808 pattern. There we go, we're already in G. The way I like to do my 808 pattern, once I have a little melody loop to go along with, is I just create the new pattern and then I make it as I play it. Like that. But right now, so just so we can hear the 808 pattern that we're making, I'm going to turn it up a couple octaves. It's going to do the same thing here, which will stop right there. And it's going to go up. Yeah, that kind of has a nice melodic effect there, just a little bit. Let's do a double hit. Let's go up even higher. That could sound kind of cool in the lower register. I kind of like that. But the 808 is going into 5. This is our 808. What we need to do is we need it to sidechain to the kick, because the impact of the 808 is kind of messing with the kick a little bit. I don't like it. So let's route it through the sidechain. And once we route it, it's all set up, already sidechained. It's as easy as that. And now that it's a preset, this is the cool thing. We can change the shape of this. We can kind of adjust the height and everything that's going on here. So now that we have our loop, let's turn down a couple octaves. Alright, so now we have an 808 loop to go along with everything else. Now that we're here, since we already have our 808 going on, we can cut the bass from this track. All the sub bass. Alright, now we can get into more serum presets. These serum presets are very, very nice in my opinion, and what we're going to do here, I could do it in this, I guess I could. That could be fun. I could just do it in the pattern that the 808 is in, just to make sure that we have all the song, like, you know, laid out correctly. We know where we're putting our sounds. So if we're making hybrid trap, we're going to want to start out with some kind of bass hit, some kind of interesting, kind of maybe growly, neuro-y, just something interesting to hit at the very start. And then we can go into more, you know, interesting melodic stuff. So we want some kind of bass hit to start out. So let's see what we got in this Black Friday bundle. We could see there's a lot of bass hits in the EDM presets, but we could also look through the neuro presets. I think that could be interesting. So if we go into the basses, let's see. Let's just start with some of the basses here. We could use something like that, but that's in the general realm of what we're looking for. Could be cool as a filler, maybe. Okay, this is cool. Something like that. Oh, this is the other one. This neuro bass growl 1 and 2. I actually really like that preset. Sounds cool in G, and that's the key we're in, so. So now that we have this sound in the first little hit here, I'm going to take away the melodic section. And we're going to route this in so we can do a bit of post-processing. This is going to go into 32. We're just going to make this, we're just going to call this loop, because this is just a kind of weird loop. So this first one is going to be neuro growl, and we're going to route it into 32. Let's see, here we are. Also, feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I'm here. I can look at the chat. I can answer any questions. If you want to just watch, that's an option too. But I'm here to help you out as well. I'm here to interact. So feel free to ask me anything you want. So let's post-process this. First off, we already have our sub bass, the 808, so let's cut the sub. There we are. Now we can kind of hear those lower harmonics clearer. And what I'm going to do first is go into this preset. I'm going to take out the reverb. I want to add all my reverb in post. So first off, I'm going to go into serum effects, and we're just going to fatten this up. We're going to make it nice and fat. So first off, a little bit of soft clipping. Let's go to soft clip. There we go. Makes it a little more aggressive. Next, we can add in some more multiband compression. Turn the release up. I like that. That sounds good. All right, let's throw some hyperdimension on it as well. That just gave it a lot more life, actually. And these are just basic stuff. Like, this is just really, really simple stuff that anybody can do to any sound. Just the important thing is that the original sound that, you know, it started out with, that serum preset, is actually really, really good. I like that. Let's add a little bit of chorus. Just pulled up my little preset here. In the phaser, we're going to turn everything down. Feedback not down. We're just going to turn these 3 knobs down. Mix it in for a little bit of heavier effect. And then after that, what I always add on all my basses, a sound goodizer. People hate on this all the time, but if it sounds good, then do it. What's keeping you from doing it? It helps the sound. So just mix in a little bit of that. I don't really care. Now we just made it a lot wider, as well as just, you know, it being a good sound. Just doing a little bit of post-processing is all you really need. What effects do I have on my sub bass? Well, right now I'm not actually using a sub bass. If I were to be making dubstep, then I would use my own external sub in Citrus, which is not complicated at all. It's just a sine with a few extra harmonics. But right now we are using an 808, which is the preset in Serum. So the effects done in FL Studio are a total of an EQ, just taking out a little bit of the high-end punch that, you know, comes with the 808 preset, and a soft clipper, just doing this without the effects, with the effects. So almost none. It's really all coming from this 808 preset right here, and that comes in the Cyber Monday bundle, because everything I'm doing today is working directly with the Black Friday Master Bundle. And now it's time for reverb. Let's give this a nice long tail. Oh yeah. I already really like that. Let's turn the mix up a bit. Low cut. High cut a bit. Oh yeah, I forgot. We also have to run this neuro growl through the sidechain, so let's route it to this track only. And then the reverb is also getting sidechained. And now let's get another Serum preset so we can play some kind of weird melody. I feel like if we get a really strange, kind of wonky melodic preset, then this could be really fun. So let's go into the Black Friday bundle, and we have EDM presets. I suppose we could also keep looking at the neuro presets and see what kind of leads and stuff they have in here. Yeah, I'm just going to glance through these and see if there's anything that would work. I'm not excluding that. I'm not saying that won't ever happen. I'm just going to keep looking. That's very ambient. And that's a bass. I was playing it way up here. Let's see. In the neuro presets, oh, there's plucks. That's kind of something we want. There's pads down there. But let's look at the plucks. Okay, it's a little weak. Like, these are really good background stuff. This is kind of weird, and I like it. I'm glad that it's weird. So we are in G. So not used to playing in G, but that's okay. So there's a lot of reverb on this. If we just start with this, we can just route it into the mixer like we did with the other sounds and see what we can get from it. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to go with this one. I may choose something else because there's a lot of sounds to choose from. But let's just work with this for right now. I'm sure I can do something with it. So let's just call this Weird Pluck. This is one of the plucks. And right now it's pretty quiet, so I think all we have to do is just make it louder, which can be done by doing similar stuff that we did to the bass. Let's just open up Serum Effects, and since there's no reverb, we can add more multi-band compression. Oh, I can hear the noise in the background. That's cool. A little bit of hyperdimension. Like the way that hyper sounds. Maybe a flanger. That's cool. And the same chorus thing I did before. Just basic stuff. See, do you use a limiter to sidechain your reverb? No, I don't really use a limiter to sidechain anything at this point. What I explained it earlier in the video, but what I use to sidechain is I route everything into a singular bus, everything that I want to sidechain into one bus channel, which is just going directly to the master. And I have a fruity balance on there, which is literally just a volume. And then I create a little automation clip. I just create a little automation clip and make a shape kind of like this. You can customize your shape like 100%. Right now this is muted, but this shape is getting triggered every time the kick hits. You see, if I go into this kick pattern, you can see the sidechain. You can see it getting triggered. So every time that the kick hits, it also triggers this little sidechain shape. So everything running through this channel will get ducked down with the fruity balance. So anything that has reverb in it, that is also going through the sidechain, the reverb will continue to get sidechained when the kick hits each time. Alright, so back to what we were doing before. We're in this channel. Let's see, actually no, where were we? We were in, oh, it's just an unsorted. I guess it doesn't matter, I can just go all and work from there. Maybe we can give this more of a tail. There we go, now it's very strong. Even just editing these presets a little bit you can get good results. You can kind of fit them to what you want to do. So let's just add a simple delay, something very basic. And reverb. I think a tighter verb would be fine. So let's see. Oh, of course we need to turn on portamento. So if we go mono, legato, and always. That's a signature effect in trap. So I'm just going to kind of mess around with different melodies and see what I can come up with. Maybe we can do some kind of tremolo. Like if we did something fast. Yeah, that, but faster. That's kind of cool. I could go with something like that, but it has to be the right speed. So let's kind of stretch this out. And let's make sure it slides. Yeah, just a little bit of warble. Sorry for background noise. And then we'll have another bass hit right there. And we'll repeat this. This loop in the background is too loud. So this right here also needs to be turned down. Or not need to be turned down. This needs to be turned up. It needs to be louder in general. So let's add some distortion. Adding distortion after the reverb and delay and stuff like that is going to add a really cool effect to your reverb. It's going to make it a little crunchier, a little stronger. So let's route this also through the sidechain, which is going to make the kick stronger. And now I think what we're going to do, we're going to give this a layer. So let's clone this right here, and let's find another preset. See, that's an acid. Keep in mind that all of these right now are going through the effects that I put on the FL Studio mixer. Listen to that. But we need like lead sounds, more lead and pluck sounds. Right now we're in, well, we actually migrated to the psytrance version of the pack. So maybe let's just check out those synths as well. Maybe there's some cool things. Would this sound cool if we layered it? I actually have no idea. So let's try and see. Alright, well, it's too loud to start out, so let's take off the reverb and delay. Too low. Well, that was interesting. It's very, very loud. That's the only problem. it slides around a little too much. I do understand that. So I guess we should pick a different one, but that was cool. It was a cool little thing. Let's go into the EDM presets and look at the little more generic stuff. Let's just take off these effects. It could be a good layer. I'm not excluding that, so. Too high, because I had to put the other one up really high. So right now we got a lot of reverb filter going on here. Let's see, A-tone, the room. So let's see if this works as a layer. I think it will if it's routed into a different channel. I love how detuned it is. It makes for really interesting hybrid trap. You can just really mess around and find some cool stuff with hybrid trap. So this is just a background thing. So we have our main bass, that growl right there, and we're going to use reverb to our advantage. And we're going to take the reverb and we are going to automate the wet of the reverb. So let's take this, which is now at like 20% or something. And if we just click that and move that around, and now we can right click and hit create automation clip. I think there are other ways that you can control this in FL Studio. I think this is the easiest way for me to automate something like this. So what we're going to do here is we are going to create a kind of sliding in effect with the reverb, just to fill in that space for right now. So let's make sure that the shape is good. Oh, I deleted it. Let's change it to half sine, maybe not double curve, half sine. Let's just mess around with different reverb shapes. See, maybe no reverb until it ends. Yeah, so the main bass is dry and then the reverb comes in. Cool. Alright, now let's add another bass right here. And let's see what other things we got. So let's clone this, how about? and let's put down the same note. And let's see if we can either find a new preset or make some changes. I think making changes would be a good thing here. So what if we just did something cool here and flipped it vertical? It's a little off rhythm, but I think we can do something cool. And same thing with the verb. This lead isn't strong enough. We need a stronger lead, something with more power. So I'm going to go into the general EDM presets that are in these as well, and just find something really, really strong to layer it with. I just want to try this. Like, this could be really cool. I love experimenting with things like these. Maybe that would be a cool layer, you never know. It's a little crazy, So let's try something else. It's an interesting one. See if that layers. Oh, the sidechain, of course. We gotta fix that real quick. We gotta make sure the sidechain is. This sound is actually very detuned. I didn't realize how detuned it was, so all you have to do is just use this pitch knob. There we go. If I just brought it halfway up there, then it's all fixed. Yeah, let's route this in here as well. And now we have a really powerful lead. This is going to be layer 2. I guess it's more of leading than the other one, but I don't really care. This is just going to be a layer. Layer 2. cool, the possibility it opens. Yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff you could do with this. And again, like I said before earlier in the video, if you want to go down and like get the pack now, you would still be one of the 100. Like, there's still time for you to snag a spot in the first 100 to get a bunch of other bonus packs along with this. So if you're within the first 100 people to purchase the pack, then you get bonus packs along with all of just the ton of stuff that we have in the normal pack. So you should go and grab it right now if you're planning on getting it at all. So there's a link in the comments here. So I highly suggest doing that. Those extra bonus packs are worth it. Let's route this through the sidechaining as well. And let's see, this layer is routed. Oh, the layer 1 isn't even routed through sidechaining. So let's route that too. I gotta stay organized. There we go. Now we have a much stronger lead. So, all right. And this right here, we're just gonna do a little bit of serum effects because I want to detune it a slight bit. Actually, you know what? No, we don't have to do serum effects. We can just do this inside of serum. What am I talking about? This is a serum preset. This is what these are for. Let's detune it a little bit. We have a lot of stuff going into the hyper. Let's just add some voices. Yeah, just do 3 voices. So we have 1 in the middle and a couple to the outsides. So now this is what we got. And at this point, this is where this loop, or I do not have it soloed apparently. Let me see. Oh, the sidechain. Let me just. Why? Let's just listen to it here. Now this loop that we started out with is not like, this isn't influencing the song as much as everything else is. But if we take it away, there's kind of a rhythmical element missing. Now we can add more layers, and this means percussion, because this is kind of a weird hybrid trap drop that I have going here, and throwing in weird percussion is definitely going to fit that vibe. So let's go into live instruments and let's look at some cool stuff. Let's see. These are cool. I actually do like these. So let me go into the sequencer and let me make a new pattern. And I'm going to create my own percussion loop right here, just using these. So I'm going to use this one. These are going to be just very subtle. Yeah, I'll take that one. And let's see, more percussions. I like the block. Let's take the block and that could be fun. And I'm just taking interesting stuff. Jingle tap. Let's take that. Is that all I want? Yeah, I don't really feel a need for Cajun right now. Conga. Here's a low conga and I liked 30, the high conga. Alright, so we have all of these. Well, I guess we don't need this one if we have the other congas. So right now we're just going to create kind of a loop, a pattern. It doesn't have to be too intricate. Let's see, start with the low. We're just just going to start with something like that. It's just very subtle stuff. You can see this intro part is a little sliding in. It's very good that the sample has that, but I want to shorten it, so. And let's kind of do a repeat of that. Yeah, I think I like that. We're going to route all of these into one track. So we're just going to route these. These are kind of percussion elements. Let's do it over here. I can just route these into 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, the faster way to do this would be to highlight all of them and then go into 6 and channel routing, route select the channels to this track. And now we're just going to call them perc loop, because this is all the parts of our percussion loop. And now this is very important to making a good percussion loop. You want to pan them. You want to pan them around. Let's see. The conga is going to be slightly panned. And this sliding one can be panned the other way. And now it's a lot more stereo versus just the mono stuff we had last time. Before it sounded like this. And now it's more just around you in the stereo field. So this is very good. We have EQing. Just take out low end. And now we need some compression on this. So let's go into Maximus. Turn the attack down. See, I don't want the transient sticking out too much. And now the important part, reverb. I already really like how that sounds. So let's just route this through the sidechain. And now we can just lay it under everything else. So with just the drums and the percussion, it sounds like this. So I just really quickly, just with a couple of minutes to spare, I just threw some of these cool live instruments, live recordings of, you know, abstract kind of percussion. Alright, so now we have a lot more ambient stuff going on. It's time to add not only percussion layers, but synth layers. So let's do some of that. Let's see what synth loops we have. I think that'll be really fun. If we go into Melody and Effects District and go into more melodic loops, we are in G right now, so we can stretch things around. If we find something we like, we can stretch it around. See, it's kind of a trance art, but I want something kind of bellish, so let's see if we can find something like that. There's the one we start out with. Something like that would be cool, but that's a little too melodic. Ooh. I would totally take that if it wasn't major. Oh boy. That's cool. This is huge. Now it says 130 right there, and this is in 130 BPM. However, we can easily just do a little stretch. So let's change it to stretch, and let's stretch the time out until it is right there. And it doesn't even have to be stretch. Maybe we could do like E mono. That's a little cleaner. I just want this beginning part. It's very loud right now and a little overpowering, but that's okay. When we mix it in, it'll make a nice subtle layer. So let's go into here again, and let's go into 36. This is the next one to open. So 36. This kind of area is very strong, because we want this to be just a layer. So basically what we're doing right now is weakening it. Put it through the sidechain. This is like an ARP, so we'll call this ARP layer. If I can spell, there we go. That's pretty cool. Let's increase the stereo. With this little free plugin by Kilohertz Stereo. Now we can see what's going on. I see I was getting to the red. That means it's 2 stereo. It's no longer mono compatible. So let's bring it down a little bit. There we go. That's good. This track is very solid in the low end right now. This has a lot of sub bass going on, which is all coming from the 808. So let's see if I can kind of vary this. Maybe it just needs to fade out more, because this is staying very solid. So all I have to do to fade it out is just bring down the sustain. And the decay. Now we no longer have to add these breaks. All right, we got a good loop going here just to start us off. I think this is very, very good to just start a track with. So after that, we can make some changes. want to do a triple hit. Boom, boom, boom. And then even faster hit right here. Needs to be even faster, so let's bring this down to half step. See, could I just go like this? Hey, yeah. Alright. Now we have to match the 808 to this. But here's the thing. If we change this pattern 3, we're also going to change this pattern 3. So an easy way to just merge all the patterns, to go right click and merge pattern clips. And now they are all one pattern. If I edit it, it's going to be just to this whole entire thing, pattern 4. So let's edit the 808. So this hit came too late. And let's bring this up an octave maybe. Nah, I'm not sure about that. We could go up to the D here. So we want no 808 here. Or maybe we do, we just want them really fast. So maybe now we can put them an octave up. I'm down with that. That actually works. Alright, now we can make changes to the melody, which is a very important part in variation. So, with our main thing here, let's mute everything else. Just go through and make some changes and see what I can find. That going up from the A sharp right there is a really Arabic kind of scale. And I actually quite enjoy it. I may change it later, but I think it sounds cool. Cool, I think that's good. And now we can copy this melody onto the other tracks. So this one right here. We actually have to copy it. So let's copy and paste. And now it's moved down. So if we solo this one, we can hear it just by itself. Let's see, right here. We have to bring it up an octave. And now for this one, let's just paste. Alright, cool. Let's see how they all layer together. Alright, I think that works pretty good for a variation. I like that a lot. And now it's time to change the basses in here. I think that growl sounds pretty dope, to be honest. So what we're going to do, we're just going to edit a bit of this patch. We're going to automate it. See, I have this FM knob right here, and I don't know what this does because I've never messed around with this specific preset before. However, let's see what it does when we mess around with it. Let's see, that was at like 42. Yeah, I see. It makes it grittier. I like that. What if we brought this up an octave? Nah. I have to change something and make a variation. Let's see, this is Neuro Growl 2 for the wavetable. Let's change this maybe. Or maybe the wavetable that is getting FM'd by. Not too much difference there. We're just looking for something to change. Let's see, this is the peak filter. Doesn't change too much, so I think what would be the best thing to do in this case is to actually make another one. So we just duplicate this. I can just clone it. It is routed through 32. And now we can actually change it. Like, let's go into the wavetables. Let's see. Ghost Tack wavetables. Here we are. And let's see what kind of cool stuff we got in here as well. Let's just try some things out. It's actually really juicy. So now we can put that right there, and we can take it out of this one right here. We don't have to have one there. And now what we have to do, just like we did with the other one, is clone this and make yet another one. Maybe we can do what we did before and flip vertical. Okay, alright. Let's put that there, and let's take it away from this one. And let's keep these organized. This one right here goes above here. Alright. And what needs to happen is there needs to be a low layer. I know I'm adding so many layers to this lead, but the lead in Hybrid Trap is so important. Like, it's so cool, and you can do so many cool things in Hybrid Trap with just some cool lead melody. So let's just add another serum, and this needs to be a low layer. I'm going to pick something really subtle, and it's going to be a layer in the low region, because the lead is lacking in the low region. So if we just pick something easy, like let's work backwards this time. Dare I add a vocal? Yes, I do. Let's stay in this pattern, because this is our kind of melodic pattern. let's, okay, copy this one and paste it right here. And we're getting some clickage here, so let's make mono legato. Uh-oh, I forgot to change this one way up here. I think that will sound very, very nice. So, and making it have a vocal quality is going to help it. It'll like increase kind of the Arabic vibe. So let's go into 37 here. There is still a little bit of clicking. I'm aware of that, but I don't really mind. Like, there's going to be so much high frequency stuff in this track anyway that it's not going to make too much of a difference. So we'll call this vocal lead. First of all, let's cut out the lows. And I also want to cut out the highs because there's already so much highs, you know, happening in this track. Run it through the side chaining. Let's make sure the stereo field is good with the same stereo plugin that I showed you before earlier in the stream. Mostly the stereo plugin is just increasing the stereo of the reverb, but I don't really care because again, this is the layer. So with everything else, I think this is actually a very important layer because if I play it with it and then play it without it, it sounds a lot emptier. Alright, one thing we are missing, which is very important for trap music and hip-hop music and everything, is hi-hats. Real quick before I add those, I need to save this. Like, this needs to be saved. I do not want to lose this during the stream. That would be very bad. Let's just call this Ghost Tech Black Friday track. Save. Alright, so now it's all saved. Now let's get some hi-hats in here. We need that really fast kind of hi-hat loop pattern. Let's see. Where am I going to find this? General District. Let's go into one-shots, and let's see if we have any hats around here. Well, we have shakers, which is cool. Which honestly ooh, we could use the shakers. Ooh, that'd be really good. I guess almost a hi-hat anyway. That's actually a really cool idea. I like that idea a lot. I think, let me see what they have under live instruments, if they have anything cool under here. Like, we do have hi-hats. Oh, and this is cool. These are like actual, like real hats, not synth ones. That is really cool, but I'm kind of torn, but I think I am going to go with the shakers because the shakers is a really cool, unique idea. One shots, shakers. Let's go with this one. And all we have to do now is just like shorten it and cut it up, and we can make it more of a hi-hat-ish thing. Let's do the in, and there we go, hi-hat. It's that easy. But with it being a shaker, it automatically has a more organic, like, texture. So if we were just to do basic stuff like this, it already fits in. We just need to mix it in. So let's route this into 7, and we're going to make a much better pattern than this one right here. I'll tell you that right now. You can be sure of that. We're going to call this shaker. Let's cut low end. See, even though you can't see much low end, there is low end happening. You have to make sure to cut it out on it, especially on things like this. And make sure this is getting sidechained. Let's just take the kick and the snare for right now. Alright, I like where this is going. Let me just shorten the length a little bit so it's a little easier to see on the actual grid. And now we can work with it. Cool, and now we can do a little duplicate here. And then we want to go really fast. So let's shorten it even more to half step and make these really small. Yeah, actually I can add that in more spots because that's really cool. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate all of this, and then I'm going to make it go even faster on this half. Just add these notes in between. Oh, that's kind of a cool rhythm. Alright, and we can just leave the other parts empty for this. So now we have like shakers, kind of hi-hats. Yeah, I think I'm going to pan these 50% to the right. And then have another shaker going on the other side. Something a little less chaotic than that one. Actually, we're going to have 2 shakers. This is an even better idea. Yeah, this one's a little less strong. And we're just going to loop this. There we are. And let's make sure all these are highlighted. And this is going to go into... Actually, we can run it through the same channel. Let's just make this mono. And this is also going to go into 7. So all our shakers are in 7 right now. And now that they're in 7, we do not have to pan them using the actual channel. We can pan them using like individually. So these are going to be let's see, 50% to the left, and this one is also going to be 50% to the left. And this is going to be 50% to the right. I'm actually going to turn this down because this is very strong. What if we completely deleted these from this side? I like how that went. I think it went very, very good. Let's see. See what other things we can add in here. What other kind of, I think, melodic things to make it sound thicker and stronger. So what we want to do here, I guess, is to add, let's see what they got under live instruments. I've been really liking these live instruments. If we go into actually instruments, because we have acoustic guitar. That's cool. Got brass. I actually am going to use this one right here. Now I know it's not in key or anything like that. It's not even in BPM, but I just want to take this part. And then I may use this right here. But I don't think I will have to. All I want to do is take this front hit. There's one hit in here that is not just at the end. Yeah, like that. Maybe I can even chop it up more. Let's see if I want to take this little intro and then just turn it on like generic maybe. So now the BPM is completely, we can just disregard the BPM because it's just a solid hit. We just need to focus on the key. This is in B flat right now, and we need it to be in G. So if you look at this little piano, B flat is here. We can go down 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can go down 3, which I think is the better option. So let's just pitch it down 3. Maybe if we go an octave as well, because it's very high up. Maybe if we bring it down in pitch an octave. And of course the time change as well, but we can fix that. It sounds very weird right now, but I actually do think it will work as a layer. So as just a layer, let's route it into 20. This is not, well, no, for all the synths, let's just keep them organized together at 38. So let's route this into 38. 20, 38. Sounds very doofy right now. But if we just have this going as background, then it will be perfectly fine. already starting to sound a little stronger. To even the panning out, and reverb. Along with sidechain. There's actually a lot of it is the reverb that's doing it. A little melodic layer to add. Just make sure that the key is apparent right as the drop hits. Let's see what we have as far as cymbals, because cymbals are also needed to make it sound full. There's a lot that goes into layering. See, when people make tracks, it's not just about the main stuff that you hear right in the front. It's about all the stuff going on behind it. So layering is one of the most important parts of really making tracks sound full and making them sound professional. When I first started producing, I wanted that professional sound, and I just didn't realize that I wasn't adding enough layers. You got to stack the layers. You have to stack the layers. So we got a lot of percussion going on here. Vocals. Ooh. Wait, I didn't even think about these vocals. See, we got a lot of ad-libs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's see, this is C major. He's doing most of his stuff in major. Let's see if we got anything minor. Let's see, this is minor. Okay, got this feeling.
I got this feeling.
I feel like if we get a good if we get a good moment, we can put a cool vocal right there. So let's see what other acapellas there are, if they have any ones that would fit with this track. Like I can hear how a lot of different, like a bunch of these would fit with other things more melodic, but that's like, it's so cool. It's like almost an ARP, but with a vocal. It's not in key at all, but that's okay, because we're in D minor, or this sample is in D minor, and we are in G minor. So D needs to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, or 7 down. So let's see what it's like when we move it 5 up. It's already in tempo, so let's go 5 up. I think this will actually layer quite nice. I like E mono because it keeps it relatively clean. It's still a little dirty, but that's okay because it's going to be background, and it makes sure that it doesn't sound too chipmunky. Cool, Cool, okay. Alright, let's route this in and mix this in. I can already hear this sounding really cool once we're done mixing it. So there's already something in 38. What did we put in 38? I completely forgot. Oh, this was the brass. I just did this. So brass. And then brass needs to be spelled with 2 S's. And let's put this into 39. Will be this vocal. 39. It does sound kind of stretched out. It doesn't sound as clean as before, or the original vocal was a lot cleaner that you can hear. But in this case, like I said, it isn't going to really matter. If anything, I kind of like that sort of digital texture to it. So let's just call this ooh-ah, because that's what it's saying. We want to make sure that certain frequencies are not popping out too much, so multiband compression. Let's turn it down. And serum effects. I love putting serum effects on vocals. You can get such cool stuff with it. Distortion. No, not distortion. When Ghostat gets emails or messages requesting sound banks and sound packs, I think by far the ones that I have seen the most have been for vocals, for different vocal packs for female and male vocals, for all kinds of stuff. And the vocals in this pack definitely give you that. We got all these different singers right here. It's not just all from one singer either. There's all these singers. And I think if you buy this pack, even just to check out the vocals, it's going to be worth it, because with all the stuff you get, this pack is ridiculously low priced, especially compared to everything else on the market. And I'm pretty dang sure you're going to be happy with these vocals, because I was very happy with these vocals when I checked them out. I'm going to use these in my own personal productions too, because these are very nice, high quality recorded vocals. We got all kinds of songs and phrases and stuff like that. It's really, really good. And like I said before earlier in the stream, the earlier you get it, if you're on that top, first 100 buyers spot, you get extra stuff along with that. And everybody likes extras, so if you're planning on buying it at all, you should get it as soon as possible, because those extras are not going to last forever. Eventually, that the list will run out. 100 people are going to get it, and then nobody else is going to be able to get those samples. So you should check that out if you think you're going to get this pack. I don't think multiband compression. I think what will be really fun is if I automate the reverb so it's not always on. And then it cuts off, like I only have the reverb when it's on. So I think that would be really cool. So let's this needs to be spread out a lot. So let's go into here. Let's see. Yeah, stereo. Here's stereo. We can just delete stereo. Yeah, I'm just going to delete stereo and use this. There's no need to use a plugin when you could always just use this. I just wanted to see what it was like when stereo was there. So let's run this through the side chaining. And to automate the reverb, I'm actually going to automate all of the serum effects. So I can just create automation clip for this mix and turn it down. And then when the sound actually comes in, let me turn the snap to something normal, like a line. Snap the line. And then once the reverb comes in, we are going to hear all the reverb on the sound while the sound is playing. I'm trying to think and do this at the same time. And then once the sound cuts out, once the sound is done, I'm going to turn all the reverb off. So I could actually have the reverb fade in here if I wanted to. I don't actually know if I'm going to do that. I may do it a little bit. I like the effect that gives, though, that sort of that vocal layer effect. Alright, and I think that is pretty much all we need to make that loop. Real quick, what I want to do, I want to throw on some quick mastering. And I can just do this with Maximus, because right now I have on the master, first of all, an EQ. Which I can fix that doesn't really need to be there. And then a Maximus. Which is basically turning us down. This is turning us down a bit. So this is kind of for the sake of the stream. So you guys don't hear clipping or anything. It's actually doing some compression. I didn't want it to do any of that. But that's okay, because what we're going to do here is we are going to bring this Maximus all the way down. It's just, you can see from the pre, it's bringing us down like -6 or -9 or something like that. And I'm going to leave that back there, and I'm going to open a new Maximus so we can do some quick mastering. Now you can see the compression that's happening. First off, the lows. We're going to bring this down. So it's pretty much just the sub bass down here. So let's make it completely mono by turning this all the way to the right. And you can already see the compression that it's doing on the bit of the kick. I like that. I like that it's doing that bit of compression. It's very important so we're not peaking too much in the low end. Next we can go into the mid region. I'm going to turn the attack all the way down. I'm actually going to go like this. Because we have some impact where the snare comes in this mid region. And I want to preserve that. But I want to change this to half sign. Bring that up to compress it just a little bit. And then for the high end, it looks pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing. You can hear how punchy that kick is, especially in the mid region. Just has a ton of like punch to it. I love it. But we don't really want to be chopping off the high end too much. After that, it is getting like crammed through this compressor, which sounds terrible. If we bring it up, that's more like what we want. What we can do to crunch it down here but maintain how the sound actually sounds is we can turn on the threshold. All you got to do is just click this knob and turn it just a little bit, just a tiny little bit, until boom, that lights up. You can see the ceiling lights up. And if you were to zoom in here, if you were to look really closely, there's a little bit of blip of light, but it's so small, like you can barely see it. Basically, you just want to enable the threshold. As long as this turns on, that's all you want. This is going to saturate everything that goes above that threshold right there. And which is basically distortion. So there's all of that up there is actually distorting. It's clipping. It's digital clipping. It's not analog clipping. Analog clipping is bad. That's when you're going into like the master too hard and the output is clipping. You don't have any control over that. However, digital clipping can be very good because this kind of distortion and saturation, this clipping, is going to make it sound a lot louder without it going over 0 dB. If I were to turn off this Maximus, you can see how loud it is. I think that's very loud. Yeah, that's very, very loud on y'all's end, so I'm going to keep this down here. But you can tell that actually what I can do, I don't even need this Maximus. All I have to do is turn this down -9. I believe I had it at -9 before. So turn -9 and you can see the hard cut. Yeah, the hard cut at -9. And now that we have it kind of saturating, we can just kind of mess around with the other bits and control it. Now we can kind of do a mix of compression and saturation at the same time. Now, there are a lot of other things that go into mastering than just making it loud. Making it loud is the part that most people want to know about, though. If we were to go into some other stuff, like third-party stuff, like Ozone, for example, then I could open up something like a exciter, which this is really cool. The Ozone exciter is basically distortion, but per band. This is per band distortion. You can do this with other plugins as well. But if I were to just solo, you could hear that I would distort it. And I'm not really going to distort the low end. I want to just distort, let's say, the mid region. Alright, that may seem like a lot of distortion right there, but don't worry. It's all going to get kind of hidden in the mix. This is just going to make it sound powerful. Let's bring it up for this high mid region. And let's do it for the high region as well. Makes it really snappy. And now you can hear before the exciter, after the exciter. Exciter is just a good name for it. Like, it just makes everything, it just adds more energy to the mix is really the best way to put it. Oh yeah, these perks. These are really cool. I want to add a little compressor on these. See, it doesn't even sound like they're compressing that much. There we go. Just trying to free up some dynamics for the snare. This is just general, you know, little mixing here and there. The low end is pretty strong on this one. So to keep it from distorting too much, just going to lower that. The 808 is going to take care of most of the sub. Alright, I think this went really well. I think this whole live streaming, me making this track, it all went very, very well. And I think the main reason that it went very well is because this pack is very well made. Like, there's just so much in this pack. I don't even think it matters what genre you produce. You will be able to use this pack for something. Like, I don't even always produce trap. I usually produce like dubstep, but I already know that there's so many samples in here that could be used for dubstep. And especially making things unique. There's so much in this industry that's, you know, oversaturated sounds, oversaturated styles. Everybody's trying to do the same thing, and all these companies are trying to be like, you know, make sounds specifically like this one person, or, you know, do things specifically like this artist, you know, sound like them. And that's not what's gonna make you big. That's not what's going to bring you up in the music industry. What's going to bring you up is being unique and making something cool and different that everybody else will like. Everybody else likes that kind of music. Everybody else respects it more as well. If there's someone that sounds exactly like another artist, they're probably just going to go listen to that artist that they're trying to sound like. So making things sound unique is very important. I think this pack will really help, especially with all of the live instruments. Like I said, even in the melody and effects districts, there's so much like new stuff in here that is so different from anything else that I've ever heard before. And I just can't wait to, you know, get into producing it more. Like, this was one example. I definitely want to make some more tracks with this and just mess around and see what else I can come up with. And I'm going to say it again, because this may be your last chance to get on that list of, you know, the first 100 people to get the bonus packs, because there are still slots available. So you really should hop on that as soon as you can. So yeah, if there's anyone left in the chat, if you have any questions, let's see, let me just read through and see what's up. I need to know, will this be available for viewing later? Yes, we are recording it right now. It is being recorded, and we are going to upload it on our YouTube channel afterwards. Yeah, I see that we answered that as well. Got it, love it. Feel free to ask any questions. All right, it seems like everyone's good in this chat. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I want to appreciate all your support. The only reason we're able to make packs like this and do stuff like that is because you all support us, and, you know, you're following us and you buy our stuff. It means a lot to us, and we can't thank you more. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you later. Happy producing.